Let us understand what is menopause. As you age, it starts declining. Definitely, there is an impact on the women. There are a lot of issues that can happen. It can be a simple menopause, that is cessation of periods, and nothing much happens to one woman. You can do to see that you're hale and healthy and happy. Simply eating estrogen-rich food. You challenge your mind. You challenge how you challenge your body. You challenge your mind. Learn something very interesting. So your mind is also active and agile.
Welcome back, Doctor. In this episode, we are covering a very interesting topic, I kept asking you whether we could talk about it, and I was happy that even you think that this is something that needs to be addressed. I want to talk about perimenopause and menopause. This is a very long phase of any woman's life, and I'm 41. I keep on thinking, am I perimenopausal? Am I menopausal? What is going to happen? You read so much, there's so much to know. So, ma'am, how can a woman handle this aspect of her life? And what is perimenopause, first of all?
See, like menarche is the beginning of periods. Like when the child, from a female child, she goes into an adult once with the start of menstruation. That is menarche. Like that, this menstruation is going to happen during her reproductive age. Let us say it could be from today, we are starting it much, much earlier, 9, 10, 11, and it can go on till your perimenopause and menopause. The usual menopausal age is between 45 to 55. It can happen according to the family, according to her body, according to her health, so many things. So it is usually 45 to 55 because in health there is no absoluteness. It's always a range. So the menopause can happen anywhere between 45 to 55. And this is the next troublesome period for a woman because let me just share a very nice example. I had a couple visiting me. She had what you call as a dysfunctional uterine bleeding. She had a little bit of heavy period suddenly. So the husband and wife walks in and I'm asking her, what's your pattern? How do you know? When do you start? How many days? You have the routine questions. The husband just juts in and says, Madam, I don't know whether she knows. I know. She's going to have a periods. Now, whenever there are things going to be thrown out everywhere and she's going to beat my child and will be angry all the time and find fault with nothing at all, I know she's going to have menstruation. So that was a very good insight because a perimenopausal woman with lot of this hormonal fluctuation goes through a lot of mood imbalance during her menstrual cycles during a perimenopause. Now what is perimenopause? Is a phase just before your menopause. Let us say 40 to 50 or 40 to 45. Whenever there are few years before your menopause where the hormone starts declining, your period starts getting irregular, you start becoming a little cranky mentally before your periods. All this shows, okay, I'm going to get into menopause. There are two ways the women deal with it. Let me put it, there are one large chunk of women who says, where the friends would have said, the neighbor would have said, they say it's perimenopause. She would have had bleeding after bleeding and she would have had pain and she would have had suddenly her cycles being turned upside down. But they would have said, don't worry, don't go to a doctor for all this. This is just a perimenopausal period. Just because I think you're going to stop, just wait. I've had women coming to me after this for 6 months, 8 months, totally anemic, totally zonked out. It is just a huge fibroid. So perimenopausal is one age where whenever there is a change, there will be a change, please go through one regular, proper gynae consult so that you know where you stand, what's happening to you and how to handle it. That really goes a long way in taking care of yourself. Women, another problem with our women is they think they don't spend time of their health, their money on their health, and it is only for the child or for the husband. They feel very happy. But when they spend it on them, they feel very guilty. Even forget about the money, even the time. If I'm going to spend that time for myself, my space, I feel very guilty. This is a very, very wrong attitude, but somehow I don't know how Indian women are more so pronounced in this. They feel they are good only when they dedicate their life for others. We have to slightly become different because us years earlier, women were at home and they were very relaxed. They were doing their things aram se. Now it's not like that. You are going to the office, you are finding all your competition and stress coming to you equally as your husband, and you have a home to take care, and you are also your hormones are slowly going to say bye 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 bye. I'm leaving you. All this has a great impact on a woman. So once you are in the perimenopausal age, that is 40 plus, let us keep it 40 plus, definitely if there is a problem, please take consult as soon as possible.
Doctor, during the perimenopausal phase, which hormones decrease or increase for a woman, and how does it impact the health, physical health, the bone health, and the muscle health of a woman?
See, for example, we have, how come women don't have so much heart attack like men? How come women don't have so many? Because of their estrogens and progesterones that are in the body. The estrogen is like a protective cover on you. It makes you look like a woman, and it protects you with lot of heart health and so many other aspects of your health. But it starts declining as you age. It starts declining, and that shows. See, for example, even the skin, no, the skin on an young woman 20 plus and the skin on an old woman who's going to be perimenopausal, there is some dryness that is setting in. So many things, small things. But when they all add up together, definitely there is an impact on the women. See, what happens is these sort of a decline really has an impact on her mental health also. So, perimenopausal is one age where you must understand menopause is natural. It's like how we say, no, once you are born, death is, at least one thing we are very sure that's going to happen, death. Like that, once you become starting menstruation, one thing that's going to happen is it's going to stop sometime. So you're going to have a menopause. So let us understand what is menopause and we prepare ourselves for it. Then it becomes much easier. For example, I had another woman who is like 55, and but she had this not only mood swings, she had so many even small physical issues, like sudden hot flushes. She'll be in an AC room sitting and watching a movie, suddenly she'll start sweating, and one sort of a palpitation as if someone is going to do something to her. So this all went to such an extent that she was seeing her mental health specialist because she was thinking something is happening to me. So ultimately, fortunately for her, the psychiatrist had the understanding that she's going through a bad menopause, and she redirected that female to us. We had to work her up, put her on some good hormone estrogen replacement. She was just like, immediately everything felt fine. So the thing is that there are a lot of issues that can happen. It can be a simple menopause, that is cessation of periods, and nothing much happens to one woman, one hand. Another woman is going through almost like depression and mood swings and hot flushes, and she doesn't know, dryness everywhere. All this can be there. So understanding where the woman stands and what is the requirement she has, and if we can treat it very clinically from the medical aspect, and also once you have an awareness, let us say I know I am just going through perimenopause. I'm going through a menopause. It has nothing to do with my psychiatric or my mental illness or anything at all. That gives me a lot of strength to handle it. Also, okay, this is something that will go away. So let me handle it differently.
Ma'am, after the age of 40, is there something a woman can do with her lifestyle, say maybe food or exercise, which will help her combat the declining estrogen in her body?
Of course, yes. There are a lot of things women do. Why you can do to see that you're hale and healthy and happy. See, simple. Let us start from the physical aspect. Physical aspect, food. Simply eating estrogen rich food. Let us say white kabuli chana, soya, so many things like that. You add very consciously to your diet, estrogen rich foods. Naturally, you have this backup of estrogen whenever there is a decline. And you understand, no, I know what is menopause. This suddenly I'm sitting I start sweating. I know, oh, this is just my hot flushes and nothing else. Let me do whatever that is needful for the hot flushes. Then it becomes difficult. I'm not scared now. I know I have an issue, but I know how to handle it. Definitely not scares me. Then, even some amount of mood swings, I tell my husband, my family, everyone, see, this is a problem with me. I know I am being very unreasonable, but please bear with me. Then it becomes a very, very comfortable situation for the women. So, food, then exercise. Definitely exercise. But of course, it's very difficult for a woman to go on exercise because they say, Madam, I'm getting up in the early morning and sleeping late, and I'm doing work all the time. What are you asking me to exercise for? But unfortunately, brain doesn't think like that. Brain thinks you do one particular set of activity at a particular time, then only it is exercise, and I will give you the endorphins and serotonins or whatever that's required. I am not going to give otherwise. So it doesn't have to be you have to go to gymming, you have to do this, or it can be a simple, you put on a music and do a little bit of dance. So many women like to dance. Even no one had to be around at home, or just take some walks continuously inside your house, something very simple, or just do some stretch exercises, whatever it is that makes you feel good. So do that little bit of lifestyle change. Eat properly. Properly here means not eating just nutritious diet, eating a very conscious diet where it's rich in your calcium, rich in your estrogen. That will go a long way. Then understanding your psyche. This is it's going to happen to me. Let me get the grip of to how to handle. See, for example, learning a new thing. The minute you start having a hobby, you learn something very new. Your mind's is definitely your moods become enhanced, and it also helps to keep your memory. Usually, you see a 50 plus, 60 plus, you say, that day, that name. There's slowly that memory
The brain fog.
fogs. Now that and all can be definitely handled by learning new things. You challenge your mind. You challenge how you challenge your body. You challenge your mind. Learn something very interesting. So your mind is also active and agile.
Doctor, so you said with the decline in estrogen, no? So estrogen is like the protective cover that makes us the woman. With the decline in estrogen, I think the freshness of the skin, or maybe the more feminine characters will start declining. That is something which will impact a woman negatively, right? The feeling of the femininity declining. So just estrogen rich foods are enough, or are there any hormone therapies which can help you balance
See,
your estrogen?
it is not that hormone therapy has to be given to every woman, because as I always keep saying, every body is unique. One might require something very badly, one might not require it at all, and both are in just menopause. You understand? So it is not that you have to do a hormone therapy for everyone. But let us say in a case like this where there is a lot of mood issues, hot flashes, she find it very difficult to physically handle herself. Yeah, hormone therapy can go a long way and help her. So first you understand the women, evaluate her, investigate her, because she's also, she by then she's not a very young person. She might have diabetes, she might have hypertension, she might have X and Y and Z. So evaluate her and then understand what are the methods that going to help her. I am sure, definitely, naturally, you must also understand how to age gracefully. You must not say, I am 20 and I was like that, and now I am 45, 50. I am not like that. What do? I become anxious? No. Learn to age gracefully, because there is beauty in everything. A beautiful 20-year-old is equivalent to a very beautiful, gracefully aged 50 or 60-year-old. So it is not just your physical appearance. That you must understand that. I always keep saying, there is a very very great, I can say, Tamil poet who says Bharati, Nimirnda Nadayum, Nerkonda Parvayum, Telinda Jnana Cherukkum. I always used to ask my mother, who's a Tamil prof, why Telinda Jnana Cherukku? Cherukku means pride. Why should a woman have a pride? Is it not a bad quality? Why does a poet says? He says, just go a word before, Telinda Jnana Cherukku. See, I know everything, I am aware, and I am a little proud of it. That's perfectly fine. Like that, you must get the information, be aware of yourself, and then you must be happy to who you are and whatever you are. That definitely helps.
Doctor, is hormone therapy very effective in India? I mean, in general, I've heard that in US it's far more advanced as compared to in India. Is that true?
No, I don't think, because there are a lot of, at one point, let us say about 10-15 years, there were a lot of takers for hormone therapy in US. Now, every therapy has pros and cons. If you are taking continuous hormones, that also then the doctors say you must go through a breast examination. Your possibility of having a breast cancer is slightly more than the regular population. So regular breast examination and investigations are important. No, you must put everything and then take a call. It is not that hormone therapy blindly I will take it just because I am aging, I want a good skin, I want. Yeah, perfectly. There are a lot many ways to have other things happening, like you have good food, you have good calcium, you are doing exercise, you are metabolically very active. You can, but in case, as I said, there are women who require the hormone therapy. Definitely, there is no that it is advanced there and India doesn't have. I don't believe in all that, nor I go by it, because everything that is today available elsewhere in the globe is available in India.
Doctor, through perimenopausal and menopausal phase of a woman's life, how is her sexual health impacted? Like, are they like, is it true that you just don't want to have sex, or how does it work? How does it impact a woman?
See, this is a totally a different topic by itself, because sex is more a mental phenomena than a physical phenomena. There are definitely physical, you have to be physically fit, but it is more a mental issue. Now, think of a middle aged woman, or for that men also. Is that having a physical relationship is a first on your mind? No. You want to make the money, you want to buy the house, you have your EMIs, you have your children growing, so many things happening. So, naturally, there is a decline. Not only because you are physically aging, there is because you are pressurized from so many other things. But there is a definite decline in the hormones. This also contributes to that scenario. So there is a decline in the requirement and need to have a sexual contact, but this is simply very individualistic. You cannot say, we have seen women who are 20 plus who doesn't want to have physical sex. We have seen 40 plus men and women who want to have an active sexual life. So it is totally a different, it is a lot of things put together. It is not just the physical decline is going to say no, it is not like that. There are it can be a contributing factor, but it is a very individual, the way they respond to it.
So it's not like everybody will go through the same thing. Doctor, when should a woman or a family seek help during the perimenopausal and menopausal phase of a woman's life?
As I earlier said, perimenopause and menopause is an age when they can start having reproductive health issues. They can have sudden, huge bleeding problems, like what you call as a dysfunction uterine bleeding, or they can have any other. So having a constant, or at least yearly once, if not at least 2 yearly once, regular gynec check. And if there is anything, a husband or the family must support and say, please take a good medical consult. Don't feel bad to do it. So, and that supportiveness and being together, understanding that she is going through menopause, like that husband says, no, I know she's going to have her menstruation. So, like understanding that she's going to, all these are things, small things that I will manage because she is going through her hormone decline, family and the children, definitely will make the situation much more pleasant.
Are there such ecosystems available which organize counseling for, just to introduce the family and let them know what the journey could be like for the entire family, for the woman's perimenopausal, menopausal? Are there such ecosystems available?
Not in a big way, definitely not in a big way, but people are slowly understanding that there are issues. See, you must understand one thing, ma. Like earlier, our grandmother had 7 children, of which only 3 will live, and 4 would have died, but no issues. But are we like that? Even one child, and that too, all of us are at the back of the child to do so. So there is so many difference. Now people are slowly understanding different phases of womanhood and trying to be supportive. At least it is on the race. Must be happy about it. Like for example, women know I'm 40 plus. I must check whether my vitamin D is okay, calcium is okay. Do I need to supplement? Do I need to eat properly? All that is slowly on the vogue, and that is a very very welcome phenomena.
My friend went to her gynecologist last week, and the gynecologist just mentioned a trend to her where she said, when a woman wants to conceive, the whole family comes. But when the woman is undergoing a menopause issue, she comes alone always. So that to me felt so unfair, like, I mean, why would the family not?
I don't think it's unfair, because at least now let her learn to handle herself. No, what is there? She is growing. We must not. We never know whether having support is important, but at the same time, we must also grow up sometime. No?
True. Yes, doctor. I completely agree. Thank you, doctor. Thank you so much for your time. And it was such an enlightening conversation, like always. And I hope to have many more such conversations with you in the coming future.
I also hope so. It was really very interesting discussing, particularly topics which are very close to my heart.